Hello, my fellow sensitive people. It is I, Whimsy, here in my offices, ready to give you another remote viewing. So this is going to be an interesting remote viewing, and it has to do with following the energy of Amy Klobuchar. It was interesting to go into the energy of Amy Klobuchar because I have a pretty good idea what I think might be going on with her campaign. So what it looks like, first off, I've got a songworm in my head. It's interesting, you put yourself in somebody's energy and then they have a tremendous effect on you. And Amy Klobuchar is one of those people that's really had an effect on me. What I like about abiding in her energy, being in her energy, and why I think that men, particularly conservative men, like her is because when you go into her energy, she is somebody who always says no excuses. No excuses. If the work is not done, there's no excuses. So she's unbelievably tough as a boss. It made me very consciously aware of all of the excuses that I have made in my life to be sitting, being in the energy of Amy Klobuchar. There are so many things I would rather do than work, for example. There's so many things I would rather do than clean my house. I would rather go to lunch with a girlfriend or go thrift shopping, or there's so many fun things I'd rather do than my work. And what I loved about Amy Klobuchar's energy is that when you're in that energy of no excuses, the work gets done, you don't complain, you don't whine. And if you're lucky enough to have a boss like that, yes, they will be tough with you, but if you trust them and if you bust your ass, I also learned from the experience of abiding in this energy that you will amaze yourself by what you are capable of. So many times I give myself negative feedback. I can't. And then I always have an excuse for myself about why I can't. But if you work for somebody like Amy Klobuchar, that's not an option. There is no can't. Very rarely, she has a heart of gold, but she's also very cognizantly aware of when people make excuses for themselves. So when you go into Amy Klobuchar's energy, you see the boat is sinking on a lot of different campaigns. Biden's boat is sinking. Elizabeth Warren's boat is sinking. And you've got a couple people who are still afloat, Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg. And in this vision, you kind of see Amy Klobuchar as the sailor with the sailor's hat who's got a buoy and she can save you. And she's reaching a hand out and saying, I'm your man in the storm. I will get you through this. You have to trust me. I make no excuses. My name is Amy and I always win. So it's very likely that Biden is going to support Amy Klobuchar. And the reason why is because he feels that she can withstand the test of time, that she can withstand the storm, that she's a strong sailor, that she's a strong candidate. He doesn't feel that Buttigieg is ready. He feels that Buttigieg is unseasoned, nice guy, but just simply not ready for the awesome responsibility of being the president. It's really becoming increasingly obvious to Joe Biden that he's probably not going to win the nomination. And of all of the candidates, the one who he trusts the most, that he's ready to leap and give the leap of faith to, is Amy Klobuchar. Now, he also likes Michael Bloomberg, but Michael Bloomberg is kind of playing with the rules a little bit, and that might not sit well with a lot of voters. So I think we're looking at Biden throwing his hat in with Amy Klobuchar. And I think that my vision of Amy Klobuchar is her putting her hand out to Biden and taking the torch and saying, you have my word that I will strengthen our old alliances with our allies, that she will fulfill those wishes that Joe Biden has for his candidacy, which is to immediately reaffirm our commitment to NATO and to our alliances. So we're looking really close. It's looking real close, like Biden is going to go with Klobuchar. Now, Warren is in a very unusual situation, and that's because Elizabeth Warren is a friend of Amy Klobuchar's, but she is also a strong advocate of some of what Bernie Sanders is trying to do. Remember when we had said in the previous remote that Warren was torn between the Bloomberg school, which is let's use our money and power and influence and fight fire with fire, and somebody like Bernie Sanders who feels that no, it's corrupt from the core. We have to, it's corrupt from the core. We have to rip everything apart and start from the beginning. Those two schools have Warren in the middle. So she has to decide whether or not she's going to back Bernie's campaign or Klobuchar's campaign if she can't pick up steam. And unfortunately, as of the remote a couple of days, yesterday and the day before, it looked like Warren was going to back Klobuchar. So if the energy continues to follow, if there are no surprises, it looks like Warren and Biden will, if they can't regroup, it looks like Biden may leave first and then Warren, they will both back Klobuchar. But that makes it available for Klobuchar to use some of the infrastructure that Biden and Warren have set up. They can then go in and quickly transform that to a Klobuchar committee, etc. Klobuchar campaigns in those areas, because Biden and Warren have created enough infrastructure and cushioning for Klobuchar to step into. Bloomberg is interesting because Bloomberg has also been looking at Klobuchar and likes her and likes the way she speaks and would very much be open to funding her campaign, helping her get elected. So it could be that Bloomberg takes the hit, lets everybody attack him, and secretly they're maneuvering to have Klobuchar come in as the front runner. If Bloomberg also backs Klobuchar, then Klobuchar is going to get the nomination because she'll have backing from Biden, Warren, and Bloomberg. Bernie will probably not make it without Warren because Warren will split the vote. If she walks out and says, I'm going with Amy because I really feel like she's the person we need at this time in our history, I'm going with Amy because I'd like to see a female candidate beat Trump, then that pulls her away from Bernie. So then Bernie becomes this lone person who is off on his own, receiving none of these powerful endorsements, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to continue to maintain momentum in his campaign. So I just wanted to give you what it looks like from a remote viewer's perspective. It looks like things are shifting for Amy Klobuchar. Amy Klobuchar is also saying to Warren, when you go into the remote, I promise you a position in my administration. So she's not saying she's going to give VP to Warren, but she's promising to work with Warren. So let's just see how it plays out. All right, I just wanted to put this quick video up on my predictions for Amy Klobuchar and what's happening behind the scenes, and we shall see. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Peace out.